ESPN's exclusive presentation of USA Women's Water Polo is brought to you by Turbo and Sea Air Federal Credit Union. Shildy in the house, opening sprint on the way here between Team USA and Russia. This series just coming together about a week ago as we look at some of the rules here. If you're new to water polo, you're excited to watch this summer. 4 8-minute quarters, it's all deep water. There'll be no touching of the bottom of the pool. Like basketball, there's a shot clock. It does reset on rebounds. Keep an eye out on those personal fouls. 3 of those, and you fouled out. You will hear a host of short whistles. Those do not accumulate, and you can keep playing on as we look at what's transpired as of late between these two. Team USA, they do this to a lot of teams, piling up the wins, 18 in a row. You have to go back to the FINA World Championships back in 2011. That was a turning point for this USA squad on the way to winning their first gold in London. And Brenda, they had a history, you know it well, meeting at the Olympic Games.
Yes, we've always played Russia, and going back to that loss, you know, it's almost like a thank you because it was a wake-up call, I think, for Team USA then. But yes, always a great battle between Russia and USA in water polo.
Team USA added the medals in that World Championship, but they came back, won the Pan American Games, and then went on to London, where they won their first gold. And we are underway in this one. Team USA in the Whitecaps, Russia in the dark. Officials in this one, Jen McCall, Danielle Debajian, and Team USA playing in front of fans for the first time here, beyond just friends and family, in a home game in 2021. So extra energy here in Irvine, California, as we get underway. Russia coming off a bronze medal finish, the FINA World League Super Final just a couple of weeks ago in Athens, Greece. Team USA took gold, their 7th straight in that event. Here's the captain, Maggie Steffens, controlling. Aria Fisher works in at 2 meters in the 9 cap. Moving now to Mackenzie Fisher, the sister of Aria. Fisher, lob try, deflected away. Good stop in close, nicely done from Evgenia Golovina, the keeper. Russia carrying 3 goalies into this series against Team USA, still sorting out who they'll go with when it comes time in Tokyo.
Yeah, it was interesting to see them fall into a zone defense, but most teams need to do that against Team USA. Russia is known for their hard press.
And there's Johnson with her first save. Ashley Johnson turns away the attempt from Anna Timofieva in close, and closer look at Ashley Johnson as we head back the other end. Musselman, who we touched on at the top. Stellar tournament in Greece. And now works to Mackenzie Fisher. Here's Steffens with the shot clock to 7. Fisher, good look. Musselman right in front. Team USA first to score.
Great movement, great passing, great finish by Musselman.
Moves so well without the ball. Adam Krikorian has lauded her for this. Just knows where to be. And a quick cut inside. Wide open.
And it's to the strength of Team USA. It was low, maybe lower in the shot clock, and they're still driving, but because they're used to that, they can feed each other on those lower shot clocks.
Musselman grew up not far from here in Newport Beach. We talk during these matches about similarities to other sports. If you're a basketball fan, you'll recognize that. Moving without the ball, Musselman finds space, gets free, and is able to put it home. There's Russia now looking to respond. Shot try, that's off the mark once again on the perimeter attempt from Veronika Vahitova.
That looked like an all-around zone by Team USA. Haven't seen that in a while.
And you have to think, too, with these being the final games before Tokyo, you are testing out some final looks on defense.
Yes. You want to see what's going to work with you, or maybe it's something you pull out in a quarterfinal, right, against a team that you haven't seen in a while.
Fisher. As time gives off, Fatal threading inside, turn, and Aria Fisher able to bury the shot in close. All kinds of Russian defenders hanging on Fisher, and she connects. And there's a look at head coach Adam Krikorian liking what he sees as Team USA is off to a 2-0 start.
Great read by Rachel Fatal there, great entry pass. It almost looked like Aria wanted to kick it back out.
And what's interesting here is that Russia was kind of ready for that. They had an extra defender ready to help, and she still put it away. Laguna Beach, California, heavy California presence for Team USA. Also a heavy Stanford presence. Aria Fisher, one of the many Cardinal on this roster.
You mentioned that, not me.
I did. Brenda, for those that don't know, also a Stanford Cardinal proudly. So it just kind of finds its way into these water polo matches. Ivanova, the skip, it was deflected. Defense in front helping to bat that one away. And Johnson controls. These two teams, they met in the super final just a couple of weeks ago.
That was a great pass to Maggie Steffens on a counterattack. Ashley just nailed that pass.
And now our first 6-on-5 power play ricochets off the bar. And so the Russian defense holds as the first 6-on-5 attempt, an important number in these matches, and Team USA starts 0 for 1.
And now both teams back. They started out, they see that.
So back to even strength, as Russia was excluded for the moment. And now they've gone to their bench.
And they're in this half court without a center. We'll see what Russia.
That was Daria Rizkova who just came on in the 18 cap. She's turned away by Ashley Johnson. Second look at the stop. Meanwhile, Team USA threatening. Here's Fisher working inside. A little reverse spin, looking for a call. Nothing there, and the takeaway from Golovina out of the cage.
And that's a perfect example of the versatility that USA has. There you have is their center who is going on a counterattack and trying to get a breakaway.
You bring up a great point. Traditionally, right, a center not going to be the person to do that.
No, they're not usually the first ones down the pole.
They have labels like attacker, defender, center, but almost all of them are really utilities. Hook shot, score it. Count it for Russia getting on the board. Anastasia Simonovic has the first goal for Team Russia, and they draw to within 1 at 2-1.
That's an attempt you don't see often. It's almost like a sweet shot that she took there.
Yeah, better description there. Kind of a sweep shot. Not so much a hook shot, but does quickly get rid of it. And a little no-look there on the entry as well. So Simonovic, 26 years old, and this is a Russian roster that has some veterans. They've been to multiple Olympic Games, and a couple of athletes that have been to one, trying to return to a second, and then a few newcomers. So a real mix.
Yeah, and I think something that helps Russia is a lot of their players play for the same club team, so there's probably a lot of chemistry there.
A lot of these players on the dominant club team in the Russian league in Kurishi. Haralabitis catch and release. Good save. Golovina turning it away. She has a couple of stops early. And now Russia looking to respond. The push ahead. Here's Glazina. They'll pull it back out and regroup. More than halfway through this first quarter, Team USA jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Russia has the latest goal. Soboleva controlling here on the perimeter. Shot clock to 4. Russia will have to go. From the outside with 2 seconds left, and that was field blocked. Good help defense on that attempt from Serjantova.
And it looks like Russia's also not playing the traditional like front court offense. There wasn't like a center in there, so it's good to see that different attack.
On the counter now, Haralabitis inside, draws the penalty. Stefania Haralabitis getting in front of the defense, the fastest member of this USA squad, and pulls in front. Pressure from behind, and it'll set up a 5-meter opportunity for Maggie Steffens.
And Maggie Steffens.
Both teams pushing that counter.
Steffens to make it 3-1. Blocked! Big save. Evgenia Golovina turns that one away on the Steffens try. Anytime the goalie can make a stop, huge momentum turn.
She had the patience to just stay low. It's the tendency to come up high, and Steffens was trying to get under her lat there. Big stop.
Keeper read it the whole way, and that's just off the post. So close to evening things up on another sweep try in close from Simonovic. And now in transition, Team USA will look to respond with their third goal.
I wonder if that was a scouting thing for Russia on Team USA, that sweep shots might be something that they can get off.
You know, every country trying to figure out how to beat Ashley Johnson. Meanwhile, Melissa Seidemann steps off her defender and has her first, and Team USA in front 3-1.
And we call that just a power move.
Seidemann, one of the strongest in the game. Keep in mind, right, they're not standing on the bottom, so that's all leg strength to break free of that defender, step back, and score.
That's textbook step-out shot. I mean, I hope everyone at home is taking notes there.
Seidemann headed to her third Olympic Games. Melissa Seidemann and Maggie Steffens, the only holdovers from the London title for Team USA.
In at center forward, working against Hotshot.
Oh, Russia's going into like a double post here. They're also, you know, using so many different.
Pass goes in.
Nice reverse turn inside as Hochschild came on.
That was a
real
great
battle.
Yeah, great move by Ashley there. I think that if Johnson didn't come out as quickly as she did, that might have been something.
On the other end, Haralabides looking for another chance in close through the penalty previously, but this time the Russian defense there. Golovina now looking down pool, but nothing available just yet. Soboleva pressured by Jamie Nuschel as Team USA has gotten into their bench. And now here's the captain, Ekaterina Prokofyeva. From the outside, Soboleva. Now Prokofyeva lets it fly. That's high of the cage. Out of play. Team USA and Russia, they met in Greece. It was a 17-8 win for Team USA in the semifinal of the Super Final. So Russia trying to keep things a bit closer here. Now Seidemann in transition. Unselfish, gives off to Haralabides. Looked like she had a clean look at the cage.
I think that's also like the strength of this team, right? They have a lot of options. They pass it. They're not selfish. They get everyone involved. So it's like, how do you scout that?
Very difficult. Here's Nuschel. Threads it into Seidemann, who tries the one-time redirect, and that's batted down. And then Seidemann, for her troubles, dealing with a kick there from Natalia Truzina. Less than a minute to play, first quarter. 3-1 start for Team USA. Russia has an opportunity. Weak side filling a lane, moving in, and good help from behind. Haralabides coming across to knock that one away and force the takeaway.
You know, what's so great about Ekaterina there is, like, I don't even think anybody noticed that person coming open on the counterattack, right? We all thought it was going to the center. She had the vision to pass it there. It didn't work out for them, but great vision in the field.
Now Haralabides with a lane, moving in, and a 6-on-5 developing. The exclusion called against Russia, second chance on the advantage for Team USA. The exclusion goes on Truzina.
Also one of Seidemann's strengths. Oh,
rebound in close. Tipped home by Seidemann. Russia looking for an inside the 2 call. And let's see, officials may pull the ball out as it looks like we've come to the end of the first quarter. We'll get a second look to see if this happened in time.
Are you looking to get involved with USA Water
Rebound.
Polo?
Seidemann bats it in. Puts that one into the back of the net just as time expires. So a 4-1 lead for Team USA. Seidemann with a couple of key goals late in the quarter. Take a timeout and return. Second quarter coming up. Team USA and Russia preparing for the Tokyo Olympic Games. We're back, second quarter about to begin, but let's look at how the first quarter ended. Melissa Seidemann, if you're wondering, yes, she did beat the clock. Look at this. Right as the horn sounds, Seidemann, they call it a garbage goal, Brenda, but it was very pretty.
It was so pretty. I mean, she had her full hand on it. How is that? Yeah, there's no garbage about that. It's the awareness of finding the ball, and I think, was it left-handed?
Yeah, it might have been. Right place, right time.
Right?
In close. We've talked about her a bit going back to last month against Hungary and now this series as well. Developed this great reputation as a defensive player, which she is, fantastic center defender, but her offensive skills, they are limitless.
Yes, and she is such a powerful player. Like, who could defend her? So she's unstoppable, I think, on the offensive and defensive end.
A big piece for Team USA to fill whenever Seidemann decides to hang it up. Headed to her third Olympic Games in a couple of weeks here. Paige Hochschild controlling, headed to her first Olympic Games. Start of the second quarter in Irvine. Team USA and Russia in close. Musselman trying to post, draws a crowd. Exclusion, she'll deal it out to Steffens. Third power play for Team USA. 1 for 2 so far.
And this is just a different lineup for Team USA. You see no centers in right now, so it's just Adam Krikorian just trying to throw in different lineups to see what is meshing well before they head to Tokyo.
Fisher, Steffens, catch and release off the bar. Exclusion there on Ivanova. She'll come back even strength. And Team USA now 1 for 3 on the advantage. So a couple of close calls here off the frame of the cage for the US.
But I love the quick attack, right? Or like the quick releases, and Maddie Musselman had a quick one earlier on. It's just like they're in attack mode right now.
Pressure defense here from Team USA. Entry inside, and Williams trying to tip it away, but at the last second exclusion. And Russia will get their first power play as Lise Williams will go off with her first exclusion. Team USA in front 4-1.
Noah puts it in play.
Vahitova now controlling along 2 meters, works it outside. Bursneva around the horn. Good look. Johnson there with the left. They had it on the post. Great find for Timo Fieva and Ashley Johnson ready.
Back at full strength with the ball.
And this will be the area where other teams need to capitalize. If you are going to stay close with Team USA, it's going to be on 5-on-6, 6-on-5. It's hard to get goals off of Team USA, and I think that's the perfect opportunity.
And then answering, 2-goal swing. Johnson saves on one end, Rachel Fatal delivers on the other.
And that's another case in point to what I just said. If you don't score, then you're going to get these 2-goal swings.
We talked about Maddie Musselman, as talented as anyone. Rachel Fatal falls in that category too. Maybe doesn't get the same level of attention that a Maggie Steffens or Ashley Johnson gets, but is a World Championship MVP, is at that level.
Yes, and Maddie Musselman and Rachel Fatal, similar, right? They have great speed. They're versatile on offense. Do a great job on defense. And like we said, it's the USA's super strength, right? Superpower. They all can dominate.
It's all with 15 goals in the super final. Russia in the hole here, 5-1. Opening moment, second quarter. Few fakes the lob, and that's well off the mark, up over the cage.
I would love to get a stat to see how many lobs actually go into Ashley Johnson. I feel like visually it seems like you could lob on her, but then not many make that goal.
Well, you saw it early on in her career where she would make so many stops. As Musselman lets it fly, that's high. But Johnson would make so many stops where you think, oh, goalie can't get to that ball. So then everyone starts thinking, well, what else could we do? We'll try and lob it, we'll try different things, but she's ready for most any shot.
Yeah, she can cover so much ground, and she's so explosive.
Put the ball on top.
Again, pressure here from Team USA.
They send it over.
Prokofjeva. Shot clock to 7. Steffens closing out. Timer to 4. Russia out of time here with 3. Prokofjeva pours it inside. Backhand, and Ashley Johnson there again with the right.
The patience that Russia showed there. You think that maybe a direct shot would have happened, but no, it's a late entry pass and set to a shot. And that was, I mean, they didn't score, but that was a great offensive possession for them.
And that's a great point. That's the sign of an experienced team.
Yes.
They weren't nervous. They didn't throw up something from 8 meters. happy to work for that exclusion. Didn't come. Mackenzie Fisher now. Kaylee Gilchrist in at 2 meters in the 10 cap. Here's Elise Williams. Fatal has time, and that's wide of the cage. And we're back into Russia. Under 4.5 to play first half. Here's a look at Team USA head coach Adam Krikorian on the job since 2009, headed to his 3rd Olympic Games with Team USA. Russia a lifetime sub here, so losing a little bit of this opportunity as Simonovic joins the offense late. Shot clock to 6. Prokofieva looking down low, nothing there. 2 seconds left from deep. With time expiring, just getting that shot away, but wide of the cage.
3:56 in the second.
And that's another, I would...
Here's a look at the Russian head man, Alexander Gaidakov. Competed for Kazakhstan in the 2004 Olympic Games. And led this Russian program for a number of years.
A lot of movement with this lineup for Team USA. You see Mackenzie Fisher, who's usually a center defender, going in there, drawing the exclusion and scoring that power play.
They go right back to the one who drew the exclusion. Fisher posting up inside, gets rid of her defender, Maria Bursnova. And you see it, Brenda. Defender out, who's open? Mackenzie Fisher. Simple stuff, but it takes the instincts of working together for about 7 hours a day over in Los Alamitos to know we're going right back into where the foul was drawn.
And knowing your teammates, and Rachel Fatal, Mackenzie Fisher, both returners, so they've been playing together on Team USA for a number of years now, so they know when she wants the ball, how she wants the ball. They make it look so easy.
6-1 start for the U.S. This is what they do to teams typically, build a giant lead, and when their defense is so strong, it becomes difficult to come back. Exclusion try, this is one of the ways, as you alluded to, that a squad can work their way back in. Just the second power play now for Russia as Seidemann goes off.
And that was a great quarter turn towards the cage by the Russian center. I mean, you don't often see that being done to Melissa Seidemann there, so great power move.
Bursnova missing high off the cage. And Russia now 0 for 2 on the advantage. And Jamie Nusha will move ahead. Working into Aria Fisher. Goalie out, ball's in. Aria Fisher waits out Golovina, who came off her line, sensing the danger, and Aria Fisher buries it.
Those two, that 2-goal turnaround swing that we mentioned earlier, it's really tough to put up a shot on the opposite end and then get down and get scored on, but that was a great execution by Team USA.
And that's the gamble of the goalkeeper.
Yes. Coming
out, knowing that's going to be a problem, single coverage, and you roll the dice, and that time Fisher wins. Aria Fisher, the youngest member of Team USA last time around in Rio, came on late over the last 12 to 18 months to make that squad. And is now a key piece at center. Shot clock to 5. Johnson, easy save. Knocks that down with the right. She's brought up a great point, Ashley Johnson. You see all the things she does, and it's easy to say, what an athlete, but she's made it clear, hey, I work very hard at this, okay?
It's not easy, right? It's like a mental game in there, and yes, she has all these great physical attributes, but it's like, how do you mentally stay in the game for the whole 4 quarters, and you focus on the ball?
And you put the work in to be able to make those stops day after day.
And to make it look easy, right?
Correct.
All goes in the set.
Backhand off the post. That one got past the USA defense. Nicely done inside by Elvina Karimova, but could not connect. And a stifling start here for the U.S. 7-1 lead over Russia. 90 seconds to play in this first half.
Time for tall. Sends it over, Musselman, and ordinary foul.
Seidemann.
And an exclusion.
Exclusion.
7.
Perimeter exclusion. Frustration there for Serjantova. She disagrees, but she's headed out. And the power play for the U.S.
It's those tiny details. Great release by Melissa Seidemann. They're holding her because how else do you guard her? Great entry pass, great movement, great finish by Rachel Fatal on that 6-on-5.
So now Seidemann, Fatal, Aria Fisher all with 2 goals. Here's the latest. That's the byproduct of a drawn exclusion. The power play is there for Rachel Fatal. 8-1 advantage. As Fatal will sub out. And we hit on it, the depth. We only have 13 players named to the Olympic roster. A change going into Tokyo. Only 12 players can play in any match. And so in some cases, it actually helps level the playing field for other teams. The U.S. was so strong with their depth. You take one player off the board and give an edge to others.
It can, maybe.
Daria Rizkova knocked down by Musselman. And that's a little extra for Maddie Musselman. Exclusion, and Russia on the advantage. In desperate need of a goal here to stop this Team USA surge. It was 2-1 not that long ago. USA has ripped off the rest, and that one is off the frame of the cage. Rebound controlled. Russia still on the advantage. Soboleva. That's off the hand of Prokofieva. As Steffens waits to return.
Almost 3-3. Oh, that
had that pass come through.
No, that was a good little movement play there.
Sides even. Johnson getting back, just gets enough. Ball has to entirely cross into the cage, and that went about 3/4 before Ashley Johnson rescued it.
Great reactions by Johnson there.
Haralabitis, time winding down, and they're out of time. That won't count. Wave off the goal. Aria Fisher trying to join Seidemann in quarter-ending buzzer beaters. Not to happen, but look at the goalkeeping here of Ashley Johnson. And this is under the column, keeping after it. Stay with the play.
Yes.
This one appears to have beat her. Just getting back, and you can see just a slice of that ball is still beyond the frame of the cage. Good enough for a save, and Ashley Johnson adds another. Able to keep Team USA in front, 8-1. A strong start, and now we're joined by USA head coach Adam Krikorian. And Coach, obviously, fantastic start here. It goes from 2-1 to 8-1. What did you see there from your team surging ahead?
Yeah, you may think it's fantastic. I don't think we're that sharp defensively, to be honest. I just don't think we can be fooled by the score. Obviously, the score is great. We'd always love to be up by 7 goals at halftime, but we gave up 5 shots out of center. We're lucky they hit the post. We're lucky our goalie saved us a couple times. Just defensively, we're out of sync. And then offensively, against this team, the Russians are so quick and so fast. And so we got to be under control. And we turned the ball over a couple times. We took some quick shots. And those are killers for us that are going to lead to fast break opportunities for them. We're just really fortunate that they just really struggled to find the back of the net.
You read my mind. I was thinking about all the sweep shots that happened, and if that's something that's on their scouting report, is it the only way to get shots off from center? And you nailed it. You don't think that the defense is in sync. So is that they're not crashing back in time, or they're just not communicating? They're not moving quick enough? What is it exactly?
Yeah, B, it's a little bit of everything. I think we're not necessarily being proactive with our position. Fundamentals. So much of this comes down to fundamentals and just working on our hip position to begin. Make sure we're hand fighting, and then the awareness and the communication to make sure we have the right matchups and the awareness of the position of the center. And then also when they have a free pass, we got to be a little tighter. We're a little bit off, and we're looking for some offensive calls. And when you do that in our sport, you're allowing, obviously 90% of the game is happening underwater. And so if you're begging for calls, you're allowing the offensive player at center to get off free opportunities. So hopefully we can clean that up in the second half.
All right, Coach, thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, the rest of the world says, this guy's angry? You're up 8-1. What else are we supposed to do? This is how you stay amongst the best, never satisfied. An 8-1 lead for Team USA. We're here at the break in Irvine. We will step aside and return with more. A dominant beginning for the world's best. Halftime at the William Wood Aquatic Center. Team USA all over Russia, 8-1, and some final tune-up action before the Tokyo Olympic Games. We told you earlier that it was just a couple of weeks ago Team USA was debating who to pick for their Olympic roster. Now they know it. Here's a look at their team naming.
When I call your name, please come up and be recognized as one of the 13 that will represent us on the world stage. Number 1, Ashley Johnson. Number 2, Maddie Musselman. One of 2 3-time Olympians, Melissa Seidemann. Number 4, Rachel Fatal. Number 5, Paige Hochschild. An attacker, a left-hander, Stefania Haralabides. Number 8, Jamie Neuschel. Number 9, Aria Fisher. Number 10, Kaylee Gilchrist. Number 11, Mackenzie Fisher. Number 12, Elise Williams. Number 13, Amanda Longan. And last but not least, I'd like to call up our team captain, also her 3rd Olympic Games, number 6, Maggie Steffens.
Being named to my first Olympic team is amazing. It's been a really cool experience so far, but I'm really just excited for the rest of the summer and see how this plays out and soak up every tiny opportunity we get. If we're lucky enough to walk in opening ceremonies, closing ceremonies, just exploring the village. I think the Olympics is special, and I've been looking forward to this for a really long time, so I just want to soak it all in.
It's definitely an honor to be named to my 2nd Olympic team. To be able to represent my country and the sport on the biggest stage is definitely an honor, and I'm super excited to get down to Tokyo.
Honestly, I'm kind of speechless. It feels amazing, and I'm just super proud to have the opportunity to represent Team USA and with this team.
We've been training for 5 years together, so it's been more about the journey and the process, and I'm so excited that we get to all come together at the end and make this journey what we want, and I just love this group of girls.
For now, we get to just be grateful for one another, grateful for all the people behind this team that have helped us get here, and have a bit of that celebration before we go back into laser focus mode to get ready for Tokyo.
Halftime brought to you by Nulo Pet Food. Team USA 8, Team Russia 1. Brenda Villa, Greg Meskel here with you from the Wood Aquatic Center. 4th of July weekend, great crowd on hand to cheer on Team USA as we look back at the first half. And, well, Brenda, Adam Krikorian alluded to it. Ashley Johnson helped save the day in a couple of instances where you felt like the defense wasn't playing that well.
No, Team USA usually doesn't give so many opportunities so close to the goal, and luckily Ashley Johnson her quickness has kept the score to 1.
She had 7 saves in that first half. She was named top goalkeeper at the recent World League Super Final. And here's a look at our first half numbers, and you hit on the power play. The idea that if you're going to go up against a team like Team USA and upset them, you have to execute.
Yes, you can't go 0 for 3. And then a nuance that isn't showed on the stats is from the 0 to 3, there were two turnaround goals. So not only did USA stop the power play, they also went down and scored right after the power play. So those are things that Russia's going to have to tighten up in order to close this gap.
Yeah, we saw 2 2-goal swings, just backbreakers for Russia as they trail 8-1. Balboa Island, we know they're ready for 4th of July. A little overcast down by the water, but that won't dim the spirits. Second half coming up after this timeout. High above the Wool Aquatic Center. How inviting does the water look here on a Saturday in Southern California? A little bit of a different scene inside the pool. 2 teams gearing up for the Olympics. Physical play. Final preparations before they head to Japan. And their last major tournament before the Olympics, it was this, the FINA World League Super Final. USA women, they take gold. And notice that check.
Yes,
finally, equity for
yes.
women and men in the FINA World League Super Final prize money. That's a long time coming.
A long time coming, and I want to give IOC, FINA, whoever, a pat on the back, but there's still more to come. I think about the women's Olympic tournament, only 10 teams, and the men's 12 teams, so just baby steps. But yes, that is so needed for so long, so I'm glad it's happening.
And a recap of how these teams fared. Russia did lose to Team USA in the semifinal. They came back and won that bronze medal game. A nice tournament for Simanovic, 15 goals to lead their squad. As we told you, Maddie Musselman, MVP effort, 18 goals. And this is what you hit on earlier with Team USA. Those 3 names, interchangeable. It could be any 3 players besides the goalies to be in double-figure scoring.
Yes, and I see that there's so many USA players in double digits. It's just they're a scoring machine.
They're a scoring machine, and then you look at who they're adding. So 5 first-timers. Now, just because it's their first Olympic Games doesn't mean they haven't played any important matches. These women have been part of World Championship groups, but it is part of that next generation for the U.S. squad.
Yes, and Herulabides, left-hander speed. You see her creating a lot. You see Elise Williams in there doing a great job on the defensive end and also adding to offense. Jamie Neuschel and Paige Hochschild, they all can work on both sides of the pool, and that's so great for Team USA. They're so versatile.
Jamie Nuschel, big water polo family. Her older sister Kylie was on the Rio team, won gold. She retired in the last year, deciding to move on from playing with Team USA. Jamie Nuschel, a chance to make her first roster, and then younger sister Ryan trained with this team, got very valuable experience. You know, she'll be in the mix looking towards Paris and Los Angeles.
Yes, this is a common theme, I think, on this water polo team, and I think for years to come, it's a family affair. Some have fathers that competed in the Olympics, and now they're competing as athletes, so it's great to see the continued, generation of families, sticking to the sport of water polo.
Well, how often do you hear, I had to go to the pool because my older brother or sister was there, then they needed someone, I ended up playing. It's so often the tale with so many of these athletes. They followed a sibling into it.
Oh, yes. It's a great recipe to continue this Olympic pipeline for Team USA.
Underway in the third, Team USA moving left to right on your screen in the white caps, Russia in the blue. And Rachel Fatal controlling here on offense as Maggie Steffens drives through. Some white water there as now Aria Fisher will try and set up shop working on Vahitova. Here's Fatal. Shot clock to 6 for Team USA. She's triple teamed. Out of time. Fisher lets go. Too much bounce. It's out of play, and Russia with a stop to start.
Great defensive possession by Russia. They, were in a full-on press till 7 seconds in the shot clock. They forced a late shot. They almost got a counterattack.
On this end, Katerina Prokofieva working for a call, never got it. Put the hand up looking for some sort of ordinary, and you see that less and less because the officials are on top of it. They're not letting players work for calls that aren't earned.
Yes, they've been consistent there, so that's great to see, and it might be just a little bit of frustration on the Russian side. They want to, get a couple bounces their way to get them going.
Inside the 2-meter line, the call on this end. You can't be inside that red cone without the ball. And on this end, a takeaway, and now Prokofieva again looking for a call. Elise Williams comes up with it, so frustration brewing for the Russian captain.
Yes, it's tough to counter these 25 meters full on, get that pass, and then unlucky bounce off overhead.
Fisher in set, guarded by Vahitova.
90 seconds gone by, third quarter. Now Russia looking to front the post. Now Aria Fisher breaks free and an easy penalty call. That entry pass came in, and you can see from behind Vahitova reaching across to try and bury Fisher, and an easy call for the official general call.
Yes, that slight quarter turn by Aria Fisher, just enough to get that penalty.
Maddie Muslin will step up here for the penalty. Team USA stopped on their first go-round. And this one, all net, Musselman converts. That's her second on the day, and a 9-1 lead for Team USA.
Great placement.
And the keeper, Golovina, liked the one she blocked. Tried to stay low, didn't lunge out too far. You do see the keepers that just sell out one direction and hope for the best. She tried to really read them.
Yeah, and it makes the shooter have to place it perfectly in that sliver of the goal where it's out of reach for the goaltenders.
On this end, we'll see a call and a penalty. So Russia earning the opportunity from the 5-meter line. Good work in close, Elvina Kadimova, the 27-year-old. Plays for the Zlataus club. And a chance now for Prokofieva to get on the board with the 5-meter try. And hits Ekaterina Prokofieva. Headed to her 4th Olympic Games with this Russian squad. As I told you, just a teenager, 17 years old, playing against the likes of Brenda V and Team USA in Beijing, and still at it here, working towards her 4th Games.
To think that she's only, just 30, and
30,
she's
yeah.
a 4-time Olympian. That's so impressive.
The reason she can't keep going. Paris is 3 short years
She
away.
should. And the first woman to do be a 5-timer, and I hope she does.
Beautiful save, Golovina. Team USA in close. Told you about Prokofieva, part of that dominant Karishi club. They won the Len Trophy this year, the big club honor.
That was a great cross pass by her, entry pass into set.
And then a knockaway, Fatal from behind.
Crashes in and comes up with
They
speed.
worked for Simanovic. She reverse spinned, or spun rather, inside and was met by the Fisher sisters. And it was taken away.
Did great offense and then great defensive recovery there.
Scha.
Aria Fisher works in the set.
Aria Fisher, Russians ready to help.
With the ball.
Shot clock to 7. Scha, a few fakes out to Fatal. Timer to 2. Page. Field blocked away. Got him over there.
The spacing there for Team USA wasn't all that great. They still got a shot off, but it wasn't the quality of shot that they wanted. A right-hander at position 5, close to the 2-meter line there.
And Adam Krikorian told us at halftime, if you're tuning in and you're looking at 9-2 and thinking Team USA doing what they do, this squad not happy with the effort so far.
And if you notice there, Ash, like, what goalie can come out of the goal that far and then still not have a team take a shot on them?
That's the respect, and there's the defense. Johnson will make her share of saves, but often it's that back line of defense that comes up with major field blocks. And you saw them stuff that shot try.
Oh, yes, shot blocking.
And now the advantage. 6 on 5 here as defenders late to get back. Mackenzie Fisher does the rest. Two-time NCAA champ, able to convert from the outside.
Textbook counterattack. The spacing was there. Great finish.
How do these players get into the sport? Well, for the Fisher sisters, Dad Eric, an Olympian back in 1992 in Barcelona for Team USA, a 4th place finish. And for those two, Mackenzie and Aria, it wasn't water polo balls at birth. It was learn how to swim first, become strong swimmers, and then you can get into this game. It's worked out quite well.
Oh yes, having Dad gone through that experience, he knew the value of the strength of swimming.
Skip shot is there. Russia getting one back. Evgenia Soboleva, a 3-time Olympian in her own right.
4 minutes in the 3rd period.
She has that long, slow fake and then that quick, powerful release. Great finish.
Part of a bronze medal run at the Rio Olympic Games. Russia won the bronze in 2000 in Sydney and then again in 2016. Always hovering around the medal round, typically 5th in 2004, 6th in 2012, 7th in 08, their worst finish in Olympic Games history. Pressure here on the perimeter. Carla Labita's controlling. And again, Fisher takes a hard foul from Sergeantova.
And this is the Russia that you see very hard pressed. Once the ball goes into set, they crash.
That is the rap on Russia over the years. They're going to wear you out defensively. I always talk to teams that go up against them in tournament play, and they know it's going to be an exhausting 4 quarters to deal with their defense.
Yes, that's on the scouting report, right? It's going to be a super hard press. We've got to move. We've got to show.
We haven't seen that throughout this game, but it is what they're known for, what they're capable of. They go back in ordinary, and you see all the white caps converge. Team USA ready, but the shot clock expires, and so the defense does its job, not allowing anything towards the cage.
Here we have a great counterattack. We have 2 Open USA players.
And Musselman, full head of steam all day. Musselman tipped away. Golovina facing Musselman one-on-one and comes up with the stop. She had 8 saves in that semifinal loss to Team USA in Greece. 4 saves so far here today. Offensive, that's an exclusion, rather just a foul against Team USA as they turn the ball over. And Russia will have it. Under 2.5 to go, 3rd quarter. Fedotova, one of the up-and-comers on this roster in the 6 cap. Gives off to Sergeantova, also at 23 years old. Part of that next generation for Coach Gaidakov. Low skimmer from the outside. Slides past Ashley Johnson, and Soboleva has a second. So 2 quick goals here from Evgenia Soboleva.
That experience, right? Russia had such a great counterattack there. Everyone's going for it. Ashley is looking everywhere. And she's like, oh, wait a minute. She's a little distracted. Let me sneak this in.
These are difficult shots to make, but those low skips, hard to pick up from the outside. A lot of defenders in the way. Not saying that's the key to beating Ashley Johnson, but I think it's hard for any goalie to pick those up.
Yes, and I think for Russia, it was easier for that shooter to look at the goal because there weren't as many bodies in front of it, right? So then it's not Ashley +3.
On this end, the skip and the save. Golovina heating up here in this third quarter. Back-to-back goals from Soboleva, cutting that deficit down, 10-4. Recent rule change puts the player live from that 2-meter line on the restart, but they pass out and now well off for line. Golovina aggressive with the takeaway, not waiting for Seidemann to gather and turn.
That was a great little play there from Team USA, a swim across to isolate your center, but the goalie read it.
Russia trying to string something together here to close out this third quarter. Out high, Sergentova around the way now. Vahitova, that's tipped right back.
This 5-on-5 might be a benefit to them, less people in front of the goal.
They get rid of some congestion. Now Team USA returns. Shot clock to 10. Johnson with the left. You can hear the slap as she turns away the Vahitova attempt.
And as you mentioned earlier, like shot blocking and having their arms up, like great by Melissa Seidemann, forced the ball, easy save for Ashley Johnson.
1 minute to play, third quarter. Russia showing signs of life on offense. Trailing by 6. Seidemann backs her way into 2 meters. Good pressure and a takeaway. Russia picks the pocket on the perimeter. Fedotova comes up with it, now waiting for reinforcements.
You don't see that often, but Russia's in their defense is hard pressed. They're going to go at you, make some calculated risk.
Yeah, down 10-4. Might as well force the issue on the perimeter. Rizkova pushing ahead. This is a testament to that USA fitness level. They are back and settled defensively. Shot clock to 4. Outside now. 2, they got to go with 1, and Johnson with the right hand.
And that's a great point, right? It's still on the perimeter. Usually you get a 1-on-nobody, 2-on-1, but credit to the fitness levels and the speed of Team USA.
And now Jamie Nuschel, and that's wide of the cage. Couldn't convert in close with 4 seconds left. Final chance here for Russia. And that shot, 2-hand pull down from Ashley Johnson. So Russia getting back in this one, or at least working their way towards that. Soboleva back-to-back goals, and they now trail by 6 as we go to the final 8 minutes here in Irvine. ESPN's exclusive presentation of USA Women's Water Polo is brought to you by Anti-Wave and Cap 7 International. Fourth quarter on the way. Team USA leading Russia 10-4. We've highlighted who is headed to Tokyo for Team USA. One of those athletes, Elise Williams. Hard to find a better story in water polo than Williams. She is the first women's water polo athlete for Team USA to be the final cut of the last Olympic team and then come back and make the next Olympic roster. And for her, that took 5 years. You see her timeline here. Wins a world championship in Kazan, Russia in 2015. So part of that group doesn't make the Olympic roster. That's how close things are. Comes back, 2 straight world championships, and then is able to get named to this Tokyo team. And you talked to her during our last broadcast. She is not the flashiest player. She might not score all the goals, but she is a glue person that is key to this squad. And it's a testament to her resiliency that she made this team.
And that's great for everyone at home, everyone here watching. It's a value to be a great teammate in and out of the water, and you put in the work, and that matters.
Gilchrist on the outside. It's a put play out to the ordinary.
Kept at it and now realizes her Olympic dream.
Kenzie Fisher works in the set. Ball goes in.
Fisher batted away. Fisher fading and tried to put that one up lob style. Delavina out big to knock it down. We told you the pandemic causes all kinds of adjustments. Elise Williams married to her husband Cody this past fall. That was supposed to be a post-Olympics wedding. It happens anyway. They celebrate, and now looking to celebrate again this summer in Tokyo. Ashley Johnson there with the takeaway.
As you know, athletes and then elite athletes, you're used to embracing, you know, these changes and going with it. So they adjusted. Happily married.
Here's Fisher. Penalty. Mackenzie Fisher on the drive inside. Took Serge Antova for a ride. And a third penalty try coming up for Team USA. And Rachel Fatal will look to put this one away. Misses high off the bar. Long rebound all the way out to mid-pool. Rebound Musselman. You see some rebounds on a penalty every now and again, usually not all the way to the middle of the pool. No. Team USA uncharacteristic now, 1 for 3 on penalties.
That power that Fatal has.
Here's Gilchrist. That's off the cage. Rebound to Fatal. Getting a third crack at it here on the offensive end. Missed penalty, rebound, and now they have it back again.
This is a long possession.
It is working towards more than a minute here on offense after Russia battled back in the third. Here's Fisher, shot clock to 5, to 4. Tries to go inside to Steffens, and that's tipped away. Credit Russia on defense. Yes. That's a long time, as you said, to be on defense. They didn't wilt, and the final stop there from Serge Antova. She was the one who gave the penalty in the first place. Comes back with the takeaway.
Great, like, elite mentality there, right? You're not going to dwell about that. You're just going to keep going to keep playing.
It's kind of that goalie mentality. You have to flush it, move on to the next, prepare for the next opportunity.
Something great that I've heard is, like, elite athletes have the best short-term memory, right? Because, like, great shooters, you have to forget and keep moving on.
Outside, and Johnson gets a piece of that one, tipped up over the cage and away. As the shot clock was winding down, put it back to 20 seconds. And Russia will have new life on offense. And looking on. Told us pretty clearly at halftime, not thrilled with what has transpired here. Looking for ways to get this team battle tested without the big schedule they would normally have. And an exclusion here on Team USA. And a timeout called by Russia. So they'll pull the ball out. Russia will get a chance to get prepared for their 6-on-5.
That's Maggie Steffens earning her first exclusion.
There's a look at Coach Gadikov. As Russia gears up for just their 4th power play. They're 0 for 3 so far in this one, but these are the moments you try and replicate and prepare so that when you're in this situation in the Olympic Games, you kind of have that muscle memory. We told you about the schedule. At this point, Team USA comes in, they're 14-0. In a normal Olympic year, they'd probably have played another 15 or 20 games at this point, probably sitting somewhere at 30 in the ballpark. to prepare for the Olympic Games, so they've had to try and manufacture that. This is what has gone on for Team USA. Only team to medal in every Olympic Games to offer women's water polo, and of course the only two-time gold medalists after wins in London and Rio.
I'm going to wage a bet here. If Russia scores a 6-on-5, this is something that they're going to put away into their pocket and wait for it for an opportune time later in the Olympic Games.
Good look just off the bar, get the rebound, still on the advantage. Steffens waiting to return. Try it again, and that's field blocked hands high. Mel Seidemann in front of Johnson to bat that one away, and Russia continues to fail on the 6-on-5. Now Steffens returns. Here's Fatal. These two teams will meet again Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, right here on ESPNU. Looking forward to having you back. Entry into Seidemann, a battle and an exclusion. Defender in close. Simonovic says, my hands were up, couldn't have been me. Heads out for 20 seconds.
You know, she almost got away with it, but her teammate was just there too late.
Musselman. Kenzie Fisher saved Golovina. He's had a strong second half. Keep in mind, Team USA had 8 first-half goals, so look at the job Russia's done defensively here. Just 2 goals, and we're halfway through the 4th.
And that's a great thing for goalie, right? It's such a mental game for them. So for her to be able to take that halftime, settle down, come up with big saves for Russia.
Musselman takes it away, nearing that 4-minute mark. Golovina now 9 saves, 3 steals. She's also been aggressive off her line. Here's Seidemann. Wheels inside and draws the exclusion, and frustration mounting. You can see Simonovic just slap the water, wondering what else they've got to do to try and turn away Melissa Seidemann as Adam Krikorian will call for time.
You know, that quick attack, you know, Musselman gets a steal, she counters down, and then she has a one-on-one with Seidemann. Then, like, how do you defend that? You don't. You get excluded.
The answer is you don't.
You're frustrated.
So here's a look at what's ahead for Team USA in the Tokyo Olympic Games. And if you're wondering, ROC, and you're following Olympic news, that is this Russian team, but they will go under the moniker ROC. That's the Court of Arbitration for Sport, banning the Russian name, flag, and anthem from the Tokyo Olympic Games and the upcoming Beijing Winter Olympic Games. And that's related to accusations of a state-backed doping program. So Russia will compete, but they will not be referred to as Russia, go under the moniker ROC. So these two will see each other early on in Tokyo in group play. And that's towards the end of group play. That could be a very important game as you try and line up your quarterfinal matchup.
Yes, every game's important, but towards the end of that, you know, bracket play, you know, see who you're going to face in the quarterfinal or in the crossover.
Start doing that math.
Yes,
okay, where are we at? What has to happen in this game to try and set up a good matchup? Out of the timeout now, 6-on-5. Steffens turned back, follows there. Elise Williams is in the mix and on the board.
You know, and that's a great fundamental there. If you look at how she scored that, she didn't pick it up on top, right? There's that rebound. She kind of scooped it from underneath, and that I think something that is lost with younger players. So it's great to see the slow replay there of great hand skills there by Elise.
Hey, you don't have to pick that up, regather it formally.
Nope.
Just get it on the goal.
Yes. So that's a great skill for everyone at home listening to practice.
The former UCLA Bruin Williams out of Huntington Beach, California, her first goal in this one. Team USA in front 11-4. Backhand, Musselman helps deter that try, and then Johnson cleans up the rest.
That was a great second effort by Musselman there. I mean, you thought that was going to be a clean backhand.
And we've hyped versatility for this U.S. squad, but you see it there again. Musselman defending at 2 meters. We know, of course, Seidemann does it. Hochschild, Steffens started out as a defender years ago. They can all get in and try and guard against centers on the other side. Here's Fisher. She's fronted. A grab with a suit and an exclusion. Vahitova had a fistful of Fisher's suit. She goes off. Power play now. Williams, perhaps a second. Yes, it is. Elise Williams, back-to-back goals, and Team USA starting to put the finishing touches on this one against Russia.
And it's that patience that Coach Krikorian was talking about earlier, right? Like Rachel Vital, could she have taken a quick shot early on? She could have, but she makes that great cross pass and it makes it an easier attempt by Elise that scores it.
Yeah, that has been the ethos of this program for a long time. No one's looking for theirs. You don't ever get a sense watching this team that someone comes out and says, this is my game to score 5 goals. Get it over to me. I'll do it. They can do it if needed. But there is that trust that any one of them can be the scorer.
Timofeeva works in the center forward, guarded by Hochschild.
And that's such like secret sauce right there, right? Like every team wants that or aspires to have that.
So Valeva pours it in. An exclusion against Hochschild defending it close as Nushel came to help. 6-on-5 here for Russia. Under 2.5 to play in the fourth. Team USA on their way to victory in this opener. Prokofyeva as the ordinary. They work it around the horn. Shot clock to 4. Skip, stuffed out. That's Williams, that's Aria Fisher, that's Ashley Johnson.
5 block that, I'm thinking if you're Russia, you probably don't want to take that shot from 5 wide there.
Haralabitis now draws a crowd. That's a penalty. Stefania Haralabitis lowered the shoulder, cruising in on Prokofyeva. Keep her out, and the penalty is called.
This is another trend, I think, for Russia that I've seen is they're fouling really hard and giving up that penalty. I almost wonder, like, why not give your goalie a chance?
They had the early block, but since then, Team USA hit one off the post, adds another. I guess they're playing the odds. Right now, Team USA is 50% from the penalty line. Missed the first, made the second, missed the third, came back here with the fourth. And Jamie Nushel has her first in this game.
And you usually don't see that many different penalty shooters also. So back to the point that we've been mentioning is the versatility of Team USA.
Well, this is a good chance to get people experience. Coaches often talk about sometimes penalty shooters, they bring a lot of baggage to the 5-meter line of shots gone wrong. And so someone who maybe doesn't do it as much can kind of have a fresh look. Under 2 minutes left now as Elise Williams comes up with the steal. Head up, Haralabitis, trouble for the Russians. Tries to go inside unselfish. Hochschild was dragged down. Fisher didn't hear the whistle, and she'll be sent off for this.
Charged against 9.
So Aria Fisher was underwater when all that transpired. She came up, play on. In the meantime, the ball had been awarded back to Russia, and so interfering there with the call, and Aria Fisher excluded, and a timeout called by Russia. They'll look again to set up a 6-on-5 here with under 90 seconds to play.
I mean, you can't falter for that effort.
Well, you've played this game. You're underwater. Are you hearing these whistles?
Most of the time, yes, but the counter from Coach Krikorian would say, why is your head underwater?
Yeah.
Right? So for most of the time, your head needs to be above water, so you're listening to whistles, you're listening to your teammates, you're aware of what's going on. But, I mean, sometimes it's easier said than done. Especially as a center, they're usually being pushed underwater.
They find themselves underwater
yes.
from time to time. Aria Fisher excluded, and this Russian crew looking to convert on a 6-on-5, try and build on something for Monday. Told you about athletes adjusting 2020 and 2021 due to the pandemic. This series between these two teams came together about 10 days ago, realizing after the Super Final they could get clearance to have a series. And here we are, game 1.
And all these extra matches are going to just benefit both teams. So it's so great that they were able to.
6-on-5 underway for Russia. They're thrilled to have the play opportunity. Great look in close. The one-timer just off the mark for Serjan Tova. Couldn't put it on Cage, feeling some pressure from behind.
Maybe it's the fourth quarter, but you're getting these great looks. You have to convert.
Russia now 0 for 6 from the power play. And Adam Krikorian will call a timeout with 1:07 left. 13-4. USA leading Russia. So Krikorian brings his squad in. And a 13-4 lead for Team USA. You hit on it. You can't replicate this in practice. Although this team had such an extensive amount of time training together, more than you ever would because of the pandemic, because they didn't travel. I know they looked at it like the doldrums, constantly being together in Los Alamitos and not going anywhere else. What's the positive of that, of just constantly training together?
You get the reps in. I mean, you know your teammates, you get the reps in. The adversity is having all that time together, right? So there's different ways that coaches put things together.
They feed it in, that's Steffens.
Steffens, a great look. Haralabidis spots her as she drives inside. This was a drawn-up play out of the timeout. That'll lead to a 6-on-5 for the U.S. Here's Fisher. Haralabidis now slides along 2 meters. Fatal. Fisher, shot clock to 6. Back to Haralabidis, lefty, slides it in near side. 6-on-5, goal is there. And Stefania Haralabidis has her first in this one.
Such patience, such great ball movement.
Haralabidis from Athens, Greece. Actually moved to the U.S. did her final year of high school at nearby Corona Del Mar, then went on to USC. And a bit of trivia with Haralabidis, first woman born in Greece to represent the U.S. Olympic team in a team sport. She prepares for her first Olympic Games. So final moments in this one, 14-4. Team USA jumped out to an 8-2 lead. Russia battled back a bit in the third, and now the United States has retaken control of this one. About a 9-second differential shot in game clock. Nice chance here for Russia. A battle. Lizina looking for room. Shot clock to 2. Sticky defense from Team USA, and Johnson one last denial to bat that one as the shot clock was expiring. Now timer's off, 9 seconds left here in the quarter. Ball will come back in for the Russians at 2 meters. We'll see if they can add something to close this one out. Prokofieva whips that pass in close, a turn and a takeaway. Haralabidis with the pressure, Hochschild gathers it. Johnson will finish us off. And that's all this one. Team USA in their series opener against Russia. A dominant effort, 14-4. They take it. And the fans on their feet here in Irvine to cheer on their Olympic squad. As they start off this series against Russia, the two will meet again on Monday. More to come as we wrap things up here in Irvine. A 10-point win for the U.S. squad over Russia.